On 11 Alive News at 5, we continue to follow the latest out of Athens, where 22-year-old Laken Riley has now been identified as the woman whose body was found on the University of Georgia's campus more than 24 hours ago.
Immigration officials say that her killer, Jose Ibarra, entered the U.S. illegally in 2022 and was arrested twice before committing this crime.
I think that the coverage glorifies her death, and that's not who she is. She's so much more, and her life was so much more. That's not her. What happened to her is not her. Who did it is not her. She's her, and she's so much more than that, and that hasn't been portrayed often. We were best friends. I mean, the most ideal sister relationship you could think of, that was us. We just got each other, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's like you're so opposites or you're too alike and it clashes, and we were the perfect mix of, like, we weren't too much alike, but we got each other and we got the different parts of each other. She could literally make a friend anywhere, and I think that's what a lot of people would say about her is, I didn't have anybody, and then Laken showed up. We were very close. It's sad, but it's beautiful that my mom and I have gotten, closer than ever after everything has happened, and she's literally been my rock, so I love her. And then my dad, he's literally just like the perfect protector. He's very overprotective. Same with any relationship, I keep saying this, like, it's not always the best with your dad. I mean, I feel like that's more of a relationship where it can be iffy, but he was always there. I think she might have took the best qualities out of both of them, put them together, and she was just the perfect little package. Her story didn't end whenever that happened. It actually, like, just put her into something we can't even imagine, and it's even greater and better than anything she could have been given here. So that's one big truth that has really gotten me through. Obviously, I'm not doing well. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm doing amazing and I'm doing perfect and wonderful, but I remember one conversation I had with my counselor, which is a faith-based counselor, was I keep feeling like I have this peace, and I feel like I feel bad because I feel like I shouldn't be good. I shouldn't. And I'm not good, but there's moments where I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, it's not overtaking me, right? Like I'm doing this, I'm getting through the day. Like I feel bad in a sense, like, why am I not just on the floor crying, screaming every day? And she was like, that's God. Like, he gives you that peace whenever he knows that you can't take it, right? And I think that that's like a good way to put it, is like, I couldn't take it, so he had to. And that's something that you can't really describe. You have to feel it yourself. Hi, Mommy.
Hey, sweetheart.
Hi. This is my mom. Her name's Allison Phillips.
Laken was very mothering. I've prayed a million times since she's been gone that, like, I need you here to help me raise Lauren, because she almost was better at it than I was. She lived her life as an example. She didn't tell everybody she met she was a Christian. She didn't walk around, quoting Bible verses and pretending to be this holier than thou Christian. She just lived her life in such a way that she was an example of what it was like to live for Christ. And the media has had the opportunity to flash pictures of her on TV and, talk about what happened to her. And I don't feel like we've had this need to tell the world who she is, because anyone who knew her knew the amazing person she was. Shortly after this happened, there was a GoFundMe that was set up, and my husband, John Phillips, had a vision of he wanted to do something in Laken's name. He wanted to make sure that her legacy was carried on, that this was not all for nothing, that, this was done, that we did something to honor her and continue her legacy. And so he set up the Laken Hope Foundation so that we could provide tuition and aid for nursing students. We wanted to promote safety awareness, obviously, after what happened to Laken. And taking care of children was a big part of Laken's life as well. So we want to donate to children's health care. These were things, obviously nursing was a big deal to Laken. Helping others is a big deal to Laken. And, we want to provide information to people that hopefully this doesn't ever happen to someone else. I think it's no secret that the Biden administration failed us. The lack of border control, the lack of securing our borders, this is a result of that. And we're grateful to Katie Britt and Mike Collins for working to make sure that they could get the Laken Riley Act passed. But to be quite frank with you, there should be no need for a Laken Riley Act. That should have just been law. You shouldn't have been allowed to cross our borders illegally. And when our administration did nothing to prevent that, not our current administration, but the Biden administration, they'll have to live with that.
Laken Riley, an innocent young woman who was killed by an illegal. That's right. But how many of thousands of people being killed by illegals?
And it's not just Laken. This is happening every single day to people who get no media coverage. And I don't know why Laken got picked to be all over the news, but this is happening all over our nation all the time. And so, making a college town like Athens, Georgia, a sanctuary city, I don't know who thinks that's a good idea, but this is the result of that. You put criminals next to children, and this is what happens.
I think, especially with me living in Athens, this is something that it means more, if that makes sense, because, obviously, being here is not the easiest thing, but it could have been anywhere and it wouldn't be the easiest thing. The worst part about it is that it's all over this city, and you're constantly looking over your back, and you're constantly worrying about are you going to be next, right? Because of the laws that were put in place, or weren't put in place actually, and that were just breezed by, and it happens, and you don't think it happens until it happens, and then there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm grateful for the president and the new administration that are actually doing something about it, because nothing has been done about it, and this is what happens when nothing's done. I think she would have gone on to be the most amazing nurse, obviously. And I think she would have focused on her faith, which probably would have led her to a God-fearing husband and having children. And I think all of that just stems from her trusting God's plan and realizing that what's gonna happen is gonna happen. And just the way she lived was all the parts of me that I wanted to be, but I might not have gotten there yet. And so I think I've changed a lot and grown a lot since everything has happened. And I know that that's her working through me and motivating me and giving me little signs that I'm doing good.